Take off! It's time for Doug and Ben's Great NASCAR Adventure!
Thanks, Marshall, for that update. Yes, welcome to NasCanucks, your NASCAR podcast live right here on YouTube with a Canadian spin. Welcome, Keith. Welcome, Charles. Welcome to the other people that are lurking in there watching. We got 6 people watching. Nice. We're talking Coke 600 weekend, Memorial Day weekend in the U.S., Charlotte Motor Speedway action. We had all 3 NASCAR's top touring series, along with the ARCA half a series was there, and that was interesting. So yeah, and this guy was there we go, attending the race. Even he was there. I flew in due to delays. We couldn't do the show on Tuesday. Why? Because Doug was not even home yet.
No
showtime.
What was it? 3 hours in customs,
Something like that.
Should have only been about 2.5, but I checked the wrong box for bringing back goods.
Yeah,
and then there became a new DA for that.
Yep. So, yeah, so we had 4 races over the course of the weekend. Apparently, according to the driver results on the track, got very rough somehow in the last year. And it is rough all the way around that track. And so started out, well, apparently we lost Doug. That's fine. He hit the wrong button. We got 9 people watching. Hey, how you doing? See if Doug comes back. See if he texts me going, I don't know what's happening. Technology hates me. Click back on it, Doug. So ARCA with the something, I don't know, 150. I remember the 150 part. I don't know who the sponsor of the race was. Does it matter? No. Has any outcome on the end of the race? Not a bit. Hey, Tiff. Good to see you. And, yeah. He says he's coming. Here we go. Would you hit the wrong button?
Not telling.
Oh, okay. Well, say hi to Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany. Jello, yes. I have never had to protect Jello so much in my life.
Okay. We'll get into that. I agree, Keith. It should be the World 600 presented by Coke, even. Just do it that way. It should be the World 600.
And Charles, they're red helicopters, not black.
Yeah. They have HMS on the side.
I was lucky to get out alive. I'll tell you that.
It's not Halifax Medical Services either, like you see at Daytona. So, starting off with the ARCA, the something 150. I think we had roughly half a field of cars, which is about 20 cars taking the green flag, and typical of ARCA in the last few years, they dropped the green, and it looked like half the cars accelerated, and half of them just went, I'm already going as fast as I can. There's for the amount of cautions, it was still only 6 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, I will say the Friday night, I'm going to try and remember it.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'm trying to remember it, and I wasn't there. Because
there was one of our friends who got me a little...
Yeah, you always blame someone else. Don't play the victim, Doug.
She has a history of this.
Oh.
And she knows who she is. Yeah.
I know who it is.
Yeah. Along with some other people. There may have been beer, moonshine, and maybe tequila Jello shots.
As you should. I like that. So, we had the ARCA race. I didn't realize the Gibbs cars in the field. They're Coy Gibbs owned. They're not Coach Gibbs owned. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that's his deal.
Yeah.
So, which kind of what's his name there? So Corey Heim was running for them his last start of the year. Hello, Bernie Jr. 12.
Don't call him Benny. I will tell you that right now. It's Bernie.
That's why I said Bernie.
Yeah, no. I'm just from. Yeah. Just from I know who that is, and it's he will get very upset with me.
Yes. Yeah, beverages do flow better in the infield. And I found altitude helps. The further up on Redneck Hill you are, the more they float.
Yeah.
So, in there, had that hangover. Yep. So, I'm trying to think. We had a few crashes. We had one pre-race interview with Billy Venariti. They said, "Have you calmed down yet, Billy?" He says, "Yes, I have." I was like, "Well, you can't get any madder."
No, he was a little perturbed last time, and also we found out during the race, Parker Chase found out that Bounty is not the quicker picker upper when you're trying to put out flames.
No, Bounty is in fact flammable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and word to crew members out there. Well, I realize it's a developmental series, and I'm pretty sure some of those crew members have developmental problems because when your driver comes in to the pit stall with the dashboard sitting in his lap on fire, well, it wasn't quite in his lap, but it was dangling because, hey, let's just zip tie the dashboard in.
He had something dangling in his lap, yes.
Yeah, so it was, well, when you pop out the passenger side window to reach in to put the fire out, smacking it with a mechanic's glove does not put a fire out. All that does is wax all the melting plastic and wire insulation onto the driver's lap. But Ben, he's wearing a fireproof suit. No, he's wearing a fire-resistant suit, which is also not heat-resistant. Heat transfers through. Saying. So, yeah, you can see the fire started where all the wires came in. They said, oh, that's the master cutoff switch there. You know, all the wires feed through there. Well, all the wires seem to be, a couple were crossed in there because she went up big time.
Yeah. And when it did come off somewhere, Joe Nemechek was saying, need a screwdriver?
Yeah. Or, you know, at least mine didn't catch on fire.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and that was like right away. That was pretty much, they dropped the green and that thing must have started. It was probably the moment they fired, it was starting to smolder.
Well, it almost seemed like the first half, almost every wreck, if it was like a blown tire or whatever, the car caught on fire.
Yeah. Highly flammable rubber products used in the ARCA series. Those General tires are made out of nitrous oxide, apparently. I don't know. But, man, yeah, notice that. So, I'm trying to think, you know, it's pretty much a regular ARCA race. You know, you had 3 cars that were about 5 seconds a lap faster than the rest of the field. And, you know, we saw a lot of slide jobs because we had a lot of drivers that are like, oh, this isn't that bad of a track. And then it grabs them in the ass. And then, oh, this is not bad. You know, it's like, Charlotte's very deceiving that way. You can run at 9/10 and think it's, you know, like driving Talladega. Oh, it's easy. And then you push that extra 10th and then, you know, I always, you know, everyone says Darlington, the track too tough to tame. I'm like, I think Charlotte's been damn near that as well. The only difference is traditionally you don't run along the wall at Charlotte.
It was all weekend. It was very racy watching it. Like those cars that really, you could see that the closing rate was real big on some of the cars, and it was just
you would think, like, we know they did a lot of testing last year for the next gen car at Charlotte. Makes sense, it's right there. And you could tell those cars, like I said to you, I think that car was built for that track in many ways. Because it was hands down, the 600 was the race of the year.
I know we're going to talk about it later on in the Cup Series, but for all those idiots that were those first couple of test sessions of Charlotte saying, oh, these cars aren't as loud, they're going to be quiet. The mics were turned down because they were damn loud.
Well, and that's something I noticed. Infrastructure at the track, not only have they done, obviously, in the last few years, the turf in the infield, got rid of the grass to, you know, prevent things like, rollovers. More on that later. Yeah. But they've added condenser mics around the track to the point where it's almost like a wrestling event where they would mic the stadium as much as, you know, whatever, because especially watching the 600, every wreck, you could hear the crunches, the tires, you know, like, usually you will hear the screeches, but it's when you hear the crunch and not just a smack, you can actually hear crumpling and stuff. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I rewound it a couple of times. early in the race. I was like, okay, they got condenser mics up because condenser mics have a certain EQ to them, we'll say, a certain tonal quality that right away this year, not so much this year, but this year goes, hey, that's a condenser mic. Which I'm not surprised. You just have to put them on the top of the fence facing down. And I thought it was great because it reminded me of being at the races where you can hear a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Keith mentioned that you heard it down the back stretch as well. Even like what was it? LaJoy's wreck. Either one, they're the same. You could hear when he was sliding down the track. You could hear him sliding down the track, and you don't normally hear that.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know. Maybe that was a production decision to start goosing that more. Like that's always been an option, but they decided to start using more. I don't know, but I like it. Keep doing it. Whoever's doing that, whoever made that decision, keep doing it.
So since we've gone off, do we want to talk about who won the ARCA race? Or you don't?
I forgot. So I was just waiting until you would jump in to say as much. I don't remember who won.
Because that's the one thing I do remember because he was like all like he was not looking like an ARCA car. That would have been Brandon Jones.
Oh, right.
In the Clyde ride. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's hard. Yeah, because let's be honest, 80% of the cars in the field are plain white cars with numbers. 10% are plain black with numbers. And then 10% actually have sponsors of some kind, which even then, half the sponsors are just a plain white car with the big decal on the hood. So, and then there was one yellow car.
Yeah.
It was really spotters dream. Get me a sponsor and I can see a mile away. Could be the TV
I'm going to say this here because I did the exit there at the start. Coming up in another 12 minutes, get a drink ready. We're going to do something at the 24th minute. That's
have a drink handy, whatever it is, alcohol, non-alcohol, but we prefer alcohol.
I had alcohol, but I can't find it.
Oh, well, I bet you said that a few times this weekend. Sounds like me. I had a beer somewhere. Yeah. I'll crack another one. So, Brandon Jones, which is, good to see. Brandon Jones with a win. It's not like he's dominating in the Xfinity series right now, so good. Yeah. It helps him out. So that brings
the ARCA race for me was really hard because I didn't have the radio this year, so I just had to rely on who I thought may have been driving the car. Oh yeah, the pylon to see the numbers, but not who's in the car.
Yeah. The numbers don't mean much. You know who the car owner is. That's about it.
Yeah.
So. Nice. Oh, excuse me. Dinner repeating. Yeah, dinner apparently is going into overtime.
Yeah.
Just keeps repeating. All right. So
that went. What we do Friday? We went right into the truck series on Friday night.
Right.
That's a doubleheader.
Kyle Busch's last start of the year, I think.
I'm not sure.
Maybe not. Maybe. Either way. Good crop of trucks. So was Ryan Preece running in the truck? Yeah, he was because he was doing triple duty this weekend.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Nobody was doing quadruple duty.
No.
Missed those days. But Ryan Preece running triple duty, and I'm coming up more and more of a fan of that guy. And I think it was after the truck race that was his interview that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So, when he put out a PSA to all those future drivers out there. Race clean. You don't need to run into people. Race clean. Yeah. Please.
So the truck series was kind of like, I don't know, looked like Kyle never really got going.
Yeah. I think he was a little tight all night.
Yeah.
That's what it was. He was battling a tight condition.
I couldn't hear. You got the
again, decent truck race. We didn't really have any big wrecks like there was some stuff, people getting into the wall and stuff. But again, that just hard racing, didn't see a lot of them spinning out of turn 4. I think that was the one outlier was the trucks apparently because they have a shit ton of side force on those things. They're the only ones that weren't really doing the loop-to-loop coming out of turn 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was competitive.
It looked like it was a Carson Hocevar race to have. And he almost did
He
until
was
a
doing
late caution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we should mention, and he had a teammate in the race. Ross Chastain was out there running well and running cleaner. Like now that he's got some wins under his belt, he doesn't seem to be over driving like he has to win every week, which is good. Bernie asks, if either of you had any choice of live or dead, what driver would you like to watch and why? Looks like Bobby Allison.
I would say Davey, just because I really didn't get the chance to watch him all that much.
I'm a huge Davey fan.
Right.
Oh,
so
such a Davey fan, and not because I liked his dad. So I like that, the father and son thing.
Because I kind of watched before and then kind of got back into it after that. So it's
right. Yeah, unfortunately, Davey's last year, that 93, I had started missing some races because that's when NASCAR started doing Saturday night races, and that was the first year we were racing. So, we were hell bent. We're like, no, these are the pros. They need to run on Sundays. The amateurs run Saturdays. Pros run Sundays so we can see the race. Because we would haul ass from the speedway if there's a Saturday night race and run to one of the local taverns, and they'd put on the race, and we'd be lucky to get the victory lane speech, maybe the last few laps or something. It was always Bobby Labonte that won those races anyways. Mm-hmm. Seems like every time I missed a race, it was always Bobby Labonte that won it. I swear I think I missed 3/4 of Bobby Labonte's wins in his career. So, yeah. Well, yeah, Richard Petty, good choice.
So it was...
Everyone put in their choices in the chat. Why not? We got 10 people watching.
So, yeah, so it was... it looked like it was Hocevar's race to lose. Then there was that wreck, and then I had a beef with this, with the end of the race.
Yes,
and not just because he was. I can't remember how he put it. I can't. I had a good quote on Friday night after, but
I should have wrote it down. That's what voice memos are for.
Yep.
But
depriving some child of a watermelon. It was something to that effect.
Sure. So Ross Chastain won.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Which really surprised me that there was such a cheer. And everyone was all happy because we don't want Cup drivers to win in the lower series.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just that one Cup driver that you don't want to win in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because technically there was 3 in the race.
Yeah.
I'll consider Priest a Cup driver because technically he signed to a Cup team.
3.5 if you say Di Benedetto, but we never see him.
Yeah, no. He is no longer a Cup driver. Driver with Cup experience, yes. Cup driver, not so much. So,
yeah.
Charlotte loves Ross. Yeah, well, you know what? It could be that younger crowd, Doug. Like I was telling you, I tuned into the iRacing the other night on here on the YouTube, and there was Ross hanging out in the chat. That was kind of cool. NASCAR needs more Rosses out there. No, Keith. Car owners do not want more Rosses. You want 10 cars each week because the rest get wrecked out? No. We need more clean. We need more Ryan Priestes. That's what we need.
So
car owners love it when you bring the car back in one piece. They really like that, Doug. We know that because how many times have we heard? Why are you not redoing that driver's contract? He wrecked too much equipment.
But still, why does Stenhouse still have a ride? No, so then, so
that's a good question. Because Stenhouse likely drives for a cut of the purse and doesn't take much of a base salary.
So with that overtime finish, I know I'm getting an echo here now.
Okay.
But with that overtime finish and finishing late, upset a lot of people at the track because that meant that Flo Rida didn't start on time out on Speed Street.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Is there much of a carryover between the NASCAR crowd and the Flow Rider crowd?
Apparently, there was a lot, from what I've told.
Excuse me.
And I'm not going to mention.
I like that idea, Keith, because he puts on a show and doesn't necessarily take out other people, but he's guaranteed to take himself out in the process.
And I'm not going to mention a name, anyone, but there may have been one person staying in our campsite that ended up on stage with Flow Rider and maybe possibly had a little in the back end. Got a little bump draft in the back end by Flow Rider on the.
I'm going to guess Bernie.
No, it wasn't Bernie. I know Bernie. Bernie is not. He's not Bernie.
It was Charles.
Could have been, but yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah. So that was.
So yeah, that was the trucks, which brought us into the Xfinity race, which for some reason I didn't get to record, but I saw the highlights thereof. I don't know. They did half the footage I saw was post race stuff. Like
yeah. So from when I watched the race, I was really impressed early on with Jones and Gibbs working together, coming up to the field. Like they really locked in together, and I could really see them moving. I was happy because I got to pick fourth in the pool, and Ty Gibbs was sitting right there, like, ta-da, I take Ty Gibbs.
I wouldn't have picked him.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have done that. But yeah, but they were, and then Jones had that spin up in two.
And it sounds like was it the junior motorsports drivers won both stages?
Yep.
Because they're up to like 10 straight stage wins or something like that.
Yeah.
Some ridiculous streak going on right there. So
yeah.
Then
Jones had that spin right in front of Gibbs, but then Gibbs kind of just he had a strong day all day. Right?
And then Barry just stretched it out at the end.
Yeah, and because Allgaier had to go for that pit. Yeah, I think he pitted late. And yeah, then I think Barry had like a 17-second lead at the end.
Yeah, it was crazy big. And then the highlight of the race, post race, with Jeb Burton and Noah Gragson.
The one year that I don't have a pit pass, and I would have been right there for some exclusive footage. But yeah, we now have a new favorite driver on the show.
I always liked Jeb,
but for other reasons now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Jeb got a brief push. I remember because he was co-racing with his dad, sharing a ride. State Water Heaters came on board, who have been sponsoring his dad and now him.
It's a Water Heater.
And and then they've kind of stuck with it. But he's been as much a journeyman, like he's had some good rides, but never like here, run the Gibbs car all year. It's hey, here it is for 5 races, and then figure out the rest of the year for yourself. You know, like stuff like that. So he's in decent equipment. Or actually, did he get picked up by GMS? No, not GMS. Colleague, I meant.
No, he was a Colleague last year.
He was with Colleague, right? That's what it was. He did have the good ride last year, but this year I forget who he's running for. But apparently, he, like Ryan Preece, surprisingly prefers to race clean. Unlike Gragson, who likes to use up everybody on the track and thinks he's the next Dale Earnhardt, which he's got that. He's got the cockiness I saw with Austin Dillon that Austin Dillon seems to have dropped this year, I've noticed.
Hold up. We will, 24th minute, we will do. Oh, it went to Mike. We did this at the race. I told him we're going to do it there again. Right here.
Hang on, I'm going to solo you for a sec to show that off. There it is.
Mike, for the Wounded Warriors, you see on the front of the car, Mike's race spot. The party rolls on, and it sure did this weekend. So one more to Mike. Like I haven't done this enough this weekend. But yeah. But
cheers, folks.
And actually, you know what? It's actually kind of good that we're talking about this because it's something that Mike probably would have said.
Yep.
As Noah walked away, who the F do you think you are?
Mike would say that right in his pits.
Oh yeah. Just to a different driver. But Yeah, and of course Noah just walked away, but
yeah, well, that's what I like when they split up and they're still chirping at each other.
Yeah,
I think Noah did go to the Logano Racing School. Keith, you're right.
although
direct people.
You know, I did see an interview with Noah. I think it might have been this weekend, where he was actually looking at the camera.
Wow,
he wasn't. Yeah, he was actually looking.
Wow, that's a first.
Yeah,
I just think it. Oh, what? It might be in the. I haven't seen the replay yet. I'm like, well, you're looking everywhere but the damn screen. Of course, you haven't seen the replay yet. You know what? They have a little screen right under the camera for you to watch while they talk about it. But you're off looking out. What's that? Oh, look, a bird. You know, I don't know what he's easily distracted. That kid's got ADD or something. I do not know, but it was nice to see him getting chewed out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way Greg's and like we saw him get checked a little last year, and then the ego started going up again. But it's like, dude. You've been how long in this series now? This is his third year in the series, I think.
I think so.
And you have 0 Cup prospects. Like, you're running part-time because you're on the Chevy team, and that's how you're getting the colleague ride there, which is a rotating door. But you ain't bringing anything to the table. Like,
not at all.
You talk about, well, I got Black Rifle Coffee and I got Bass Pro Shops. Okay, first of all, Bass Pro Shops sponsors fucking everybody.
I was going to say, so do the Dylans.
Yeah, exactly. And Black Rifle Coffee will just find another conservative to back. That's how they roll. So don't worry about it. And they're there, and both those sponsors are there more for Junior than for you, Bubba Lou.
Yes. Yes.
So,
but
yeah. He was a rolling screen in the Cup car. Exactly.
Yeah. So then on to Saturday night was good because it didn't have to start late. Actually, it kind of started. I left.
Oh, you froze.
And I'm back.
You're back.
I think I just heard some walking upstairs. I think there's more people on the Wi-Fi. But yeah, I got to walk over. I actually got to drive over this time. Yeah, I got to drive over, I think. Steve Miller Band played Saturday night over on Speed Street. Yes. I'll say over on Speed Street, but it was just on the other side of the condos. But right. But I have to say, and with I was there with Jonathan and Crystal and Debbie and Mike. I got all your names right. I'm impressed with that. Just it's amazing how much for some of these bands when they start playing, especially like him, because it was just. It was the best of Steve Miller Band that played. Sure. You keep like each song comes on, it's like, oh yeah, he does that song too.
Yeah, he's very much one of those guys that
you're
like, oh yeah, you think, oh yeah, he had like 3 or 4 hits. No, he had about a dozen hits, really. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. I thought the same thing when I got back into Tom Petty about 30 years ago. I picked up Tom Petty's greatest hits, and I was like, holy crap.
To answer Keith, a lot.
He was drinking for 2 because I didn't make it.
Could have been more too. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot. Yeah, Saturday is a fairly early day in many ways.
Well, the Cup race started at 1.
The Xfinity race.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, it usually does.
I thought you started a little later in the day.
Maybe 3. Maybe like a 3 start or something. But I remember it was always pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah, then getting into Sunday. Holy crap on a cracker. I thought this was going to be the shit show 600 in many ways, but I was enjoying it because tire issues? What? We haven't had tire issues since fucking Indy when we ran the oval. Blistering tires? Yeah. Yes, please. I'm like, so, like, all right, when the teams are like, we might run out of tires because we're still in stage 1 and we've already done like 5 pit stops. Now, thankfully, we had 16 cautions in the first half of the race and like 4 in the second half. So,
which is
and
almost
both right at the end.
It does usually start to go longer green runs at the end anyway.
Yeah. Which, my other pet peeve, because I have the pet peeve how it's the only race of the year with 4 stages.
Pointing at me again.
What? Why does that race pay more points than any other race of the year?
Because it's longer.
So, the races that are only 400 milers, should they have less points than the 500 milers?
I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there.
Yeah, it's dumb. Stop it, NASCAR. Stop it. I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing at NASCAR. Stop it. So, yeah. Getting into the stages, I don't know. It was weird. It was almost kind of hard to get into the flow of things early in the race because there were so many cautions.
Yeah.
Where the stages just ran into something else. So I wasn't really paying attention because it was this pretty much the same kind of cars running up front for the most part. And then we get 30 laps in and it's like, okay, who's going to blow a left rear?
Yep.
Usually coming out of turn 4. But it's okay because you can slide through the Roval chicane. Yep. And if you're someone like Bubba Wallace, you go, oh, well, there's my pits right there. Perfect.
You can just give it a Jimmy down there through that chicane.
Yeah.
Jackass.
Ryan Blaney, when he spun, he just put it right on the apron. Like there was no he can't put the wheels fully on the flat. It just don't when you notice the car rotating an angle, I'm like, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, I'm on 25 degrees of banking and you're on about 15.
I'm trying to think if it was his first or his second spin, the one up in 2, when he spun up in 2. And collected everybody.
Yeah, that was when he hit the apron.
And then I puckered up on that one because I seen Truex coming in and I'm like, he's done. Oh no, he's not. He actually hit the brakes and got through one for a change.
Yeah. Which
and my other beef right now, just while it's in the head here.
Yes.
Stop having Truex and Dillon with the same freaking paint scheme.
Oh, I know. Or how about, hey, Penske, how about Menards just stay on one fucking car? Because, it doesn't matter who's driving the Menards car. I assume it's Ryan Blaney. You see a neon yellow. I'm like, oh, it's Ryan. Oh, wait, no, that's a 22. Or no, that's the 2. No. Or just blanket sponsor, like when they would do that. They'd be like, okay, Menards is, on all 3 cars this weekend. Yeah. That's what you do. Maximum penetration of market. That's how it works. That's marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the highlight of the 600 had to be what was possibly our first ever rollover at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
According to actually Keith, that he's saying with Bass Pro Shops 50th anniversary. I have pictures of that car being run at like the last 4 600s. Both cars, same paint scheme, last 4 600.
Yeah, they always do it. It's annoying.
It's not just a special one. It's just the 600 car.
Yeah.
And as a Truex fan, I'm tired of sitting there watching Dillon go around the track. I'm thinking it's Truex.
Yeah. I get it.
So even before that, it was the half. They did the half stage.
Yeah.
After the second stage, they did the break, and I think probably one of the best things I ever see is when you're there, and that is they do that little bit of a. I'm not sure if they show it on TV or not. They do the moment of silence for Memorial Day, and you can have a moment of silence at other sporting events where you still got the 1 or 2 yahoos kind of still giving a yip and a you, right?
Yeah.
It goes silent. And I mean silent.
Right.
Generators are off. You hear nothing.
Yeah.
At all. And it's just, it's, I don't want to say it's an eerie feeling, but you get that. And especially with the crew that we were with, and some of them were watching. Right. I know.
That was the point where, they had the team meeting with Larson. They said, well, you've had a couple pit road infractions. You've spun out. You've caught on fire. I guess all that's left is to win the race. And he went, yeah, I guess so. Because their luck did turn the second half thing.
Then and then Elliott's luck turned.
Yeah. Perfect.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, Keith, if people were cheering through the TV, you did not hear it at the track.
Yeah. It was well
right
up in the stands. But they're the same people that, like you're at a rock concert, and they bring it down for a second. You got that one person, yeah! It's like, really? So, yeah, so that got us into that freak incident, which I thought at first the same thing that was suspected in your neck of the woods down there, that there was a grate or a sprinkler system or something in what used to be the grassy area of the quad oval. But it turns out, no, it was literally this Ben's tech report for the week. The perfect timing of Buescher's right front wheel breaking off the hub, and as it went under, you had that energy, and then it grabbed at the exact time it was also slipping under there. Because as I said to you, if it slipped under there, it could have still slid. We've seen that happen. But generally, it was similar to when the spoilers used to dig in. You're going to get that pitch point and pole vault. And then that's what we had happen, and that caused a fairly violent wreck. I think the best was the shot of the in-car. I forget whose in-car that was, because you could see out through the window net, and you could see Buescher spinning. All of a sudden, he's all over.
I think, and the consensus at the track on because there's at our sites there's a lot of years there, and that may have been the first ever roll at a 600. I'm
pretty sure, yes, because I was thinking of Carl Long, but that was at Rockingham. But in that, again, freak thing like that, again, tire folding under. The 99 car, no. I think are you thinking of McDowell?
99 was in that wreck.
Yeah.
Because Suarez was the one that was facing him.
Yes, it was Suarez, the in-car. That's right. It was Suarez's in-car.
Yeah. Well, you gotta feel like he was out front, like he was governor, and it almost looked like he had a good shot at winning that race.
He did. He's been quite competitive. Well, he won one of the stages, I think. So Chris Buescher with the rollover, which I didn't click on, obviously, because I wouldn't. But the door bumper clear, guys. The headline was, "It took too long to roll the car over." No, it never takes too long to roll a car over like that. Patience is a virtue. You don't rush a rollover.
Sitting there, it did seem like they left him hanging, literally, for a long time.
Well, the first thing is they had to figure out how to roll the car over because, here. The bottom of the car now looks like a bank, Doug, is what I'm saying.
Let's see that bank.
Now, see, in the past, there's frame rails that you could grab onto. Here, you could even grab on one of the trailing arm, track bar, whatever. You can grab on that stuff and ease it on over. Now let's look at a next gen, which really should be renamed.
I thought you could have at least had another car there or something.
I don't own a diecast of a next gen car because you didn't get me one in Charlotte. That's the bottom of the car these days. Not much to hook onto. So there is, right in here, there's a couple little eyelets. You can't really see it, but there is, and that's what they hooked onto. And I also knew this year, rather than bringing locals or track workers, we have a traveling safety crew that now travels with the series week to week, which I like because they can get intimate with the cars, being familiar with them, like this experience. So if it happens again, they can knock off 5 minutes of time just by, you got a hook right here. So I like that. I didn't think it took overly long. If anyone's seen a rollover recovery done on the side of a highway, they can take hours. So,
but there's usually no one hanging upside down in that car.
Yeah. and it's more dangerous to try to get out of the car while it's upside down than, because there's no real way to prop the guy. You're going to come down on your head.
Yep.
It's not like the old days where it was so open, right? Those seats are so restrictive. You pretty much are forced to fall down on your head.
Yep.
Whereas, previously you probably just kind of roll out, whatever. And they do always leave the driver in the car. That's been, barring fire or injury, the driver stays in the car until they get it back on its wheels. I did not see that, Keith. I'm not a big fan of the 7-point belt system anyways. I prefer a 5-point system. They say the 7 is safer, but I don't see it being that much. I don't know. Not a fan. Also, I prefer the dial converted. I like the dial style releases on the harnesses rather than the old hook style, which I used to use, and I wouldn't use one of those now if I was racing. I would definitely use the dial style.
Yeah. So after that, Larson kind of took over the race, and it looked like he was going to be gone.
Yes.
Until Briscoe was like, "Hey, let me try and get this in," and he had a couple good runs at Larson. Like, it looked like the first time he had to go at him, looked like he had him passed and just couldn't clear him.
It was some good racing.
It was side by side. It was fantastic racing.
Yeah.
Until that last time where he just, with 2 to go,
took himself out.
Just lost it.
Yeah. And then that happened. And what did and then we had the 4 wide on the restart where Austin Dillon, granted, he went for it. He didn't have the car to win, but he thought, well, we'll see. And
this was my view of that after that wreck. Just smoke.
Yeah, just a lot of smoke.
But after looking at that, was it really Larson? Not so Larson. Was it really Dillon? Because Dillon held his line, and you see Chastain get loose on the top. He got into the wall, which then got into Larson, and Larson went right. If it would have been Dillon hooking him, he would have went left.
I think it was 2 cars merging into the same lane. I think
you go back and look at that. Chastain got loose on the top, hit the wall, bounced off into Larson. I don't think that was Dillon at all.
I don't think Dillon initiated it. See you, Charles.
Was his one. That was his shot to take that race for Dillon.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame him for trying it. He had a wicked run on the cars. You got to try it. You got to go for it.
I think if not for Chastain, like I said, not for Chastain getting into that wall, I think Dillon takes it.
Possibly. I don't know, because he had lost a lot of his momentum when he was starting to wash up there coming out of 4. So I think he would. But he was didn't hit the wall. Chastain or Larson would have come by on the outside for the win.
No, I think he would, at least would have taken a lead on that there. But like I said, I don't think that wreck was on him at all.
I don't think so, because we still would have had another lap to go, and there was faster cars right there.
But I'm just saying this. I've heard a lot of people going on,
and I disagree.
Dillon, and it was not Dillon. That was Chastain.
No, I didn't say it. I never said it was Dillon's fault.
I don't care I'm just saying what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
So we're in agreement. It wasn't Austin's fault. But either way, he didn't win.
Again, this feels like a Monday driving home.
Vindication 11 years later, Denny Hamlin wins the race.
Yes. Which, you know what? That going to the white flag, that last lap, that second last lap, that was a doozy with him and Kyle going like they
both threw it into turn 1 hard.
And no touching. It was clean all the way. And it was just...
Well, see, that's the difference, right? Of your average Cup drivers and your top Cup drivers. They put on a show at the end there. Denny went, and I'm going to say it. Kudos to Goodyear. It's not often I say kudos to Goodyear, but for bringing what was possibly the softest tire compound in a quarter century to a track.
Well, like you said, how many test sessions did they have at Charlotte to get it right?
Well, yeah, but not only that, but it's like we know the aggregate of that track. Generally, you got to bring a hard tire. They brought a really soft tire. You could tell because look at the front of every car in the field. It's just caked in rubber, which we never see anymore. We did have some blisterings, and Harvick finished third.
I was going to say Harvick was there as well, and it was.
But kudos to Goodyear for bringing that soft compound because it really lent to some good racing, some tire fall off. Like I say, we had some blisters. But you're just likely to get blisters with a harder compound quite often. It's all in the way it heats up. Also, what I wasn't hearing is the tires crying when they're leaving the pits because they're so goddamn hard. I'd always say that. Like, you can hear screeching tires don't sound the same as crying tires. And crying tires are very hard rubber that are sliding across and you're not leaving those big black marks like a burnout would, right? Which is a different type of screeching. You've heard it, post-race. When they're spinning, those tire squeals sound totally different than when we hear them crying going through the corners when they're chattering and stuff.
Yep.
So it was really, they brought the perfect tire in my opinion. Sure, it blistered a bit, but guess what? Run the proper tire pressure and don't cheat with your camber. Put a better setup under your car. Work with the springs and shocks and not the camber.
Mm.
And guess what? If you get rid of the camber, you're going to have better handling in the corners because you have more of a tire patch adhering to the track.
Okay.
It's the easy way out for a setup, Doug. I've seen it for years. It used to be we used to lean that left front way out, right? Especially with tracks like Pocono. That's the easy. Leaning wheels is the easy cop out for a setup.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my rant on that. But again, I'm not a big Denny Hamlin fan, but I'm interested in keeping an eye on Denny as a driver/owner. I'm really enjoying watching Denny. I'm not a Denny fan, only because he's done stuff earlier in his life I don't care for. But hey, right on, Denny. You got yourself a Coke 600 win.
So before I kind of go into the rest of the stuff on the weekend for me, because I want to get into that there. I know we're probably going to go over an hour this week. I don't care.
Not too much. I got some stuff I got to do. Still,
I don't care. I don't.
I do care.
Don't. Anyway,
I have the off button.
Does Denny have the Triple Crown now? Because he's got the Daytona 500, Darlington, the Southern 500. Is the Coke 600, or does the Brickyard get into that?
Brickyard doesn't count anymore. First of all, it was never a crown jewel race just because it's a big track. Well, you know what? Initially, when they had those huge purses, yes, but one, it was a shitty race every year, and two, it was never really well attended after the first few years, and now they run on the road course at Indy, so that's a moot point. If there's going to be a crown jewel road course, it should be Watkins Glen because they've run there the longest.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, it's definitely a crown jewel race, I would say. I don't know if it's triple crown because, excuse me, there's Daytona, Darlington, Charlotte. Yeah, what else?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So,
short tracks, I guess. I don't know.
See, I know. We've got some news to get into as well here.
Yeah.
But I just got to talk about the weekend for me.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best ones there. I wish you would have been down for it because it was really the emotional gamut was run.
You know what? In a sense, I'm kind of glad I'm not traveling this year, Doug, because this would have been we wouldn't be doing this show first of all tonight or even on Tuesday because with my other day job, I would have been flying to California straight from Charlotte. You'd be like, "You ready to drive home?" I'm like, "You need to drop me off the airport because NAM's this weekend."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I gotta say a big kudos to Marshall, Corey, Todd, Scott.
Yep.
It's like I said to them,
keeping up with the photos.
Yeah, and
And also thank you, Amy, for all the breakfast wraps.
Yeah, like you weren't even freaking there, and you're like stealing my shit here. Anyway,
I'm just saying. I saw the photos. I was keeping up with things. Actually, I was probably more aware of events this weekend this year than most years when I've attended.
Yeah, and we had some times. We had we had the cowboy on Thursday night that showed up. I won't get into full details with that, but first time we've ever had someone arrested on our campsite. Just because
that is impressive because we've had some wild weekends.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and if you see the thumbnail, is that was on Saturday night, and as Todd has said, it was a great. Todd hand drew that picture of Mike on the wall, and thankfully the security came by after he was done to say, we don't really want you writing on the wall, and it's like, yeah, too bad. Yeah. I don't know if you got it there, or do you want me to grab it here?
Well, I got it. There we go. There it is.
There it is. As you can see, this was his place, but he shared it with everyone, which is, gotta say, it's the truth. Because he kind of did. We got to see it. He did run the show there. Like we got to we didn't get there was some stuff we didn't get that we normally get, but that may change for next year, and it was just like I said, a very emotional weekend, and there was some people there that I know we wish would have been there. I know they tried to get there.
Yep.
Being
well, for a variety of reasons. I know some people had to work. Some people it's health related.
But yeah, so the ones that we really did miss, that we wish would have been there. Sam and Monica. I know they've got some health stuff. Justin and Marissa, I know she's a big Disney fan. They were at Disney with the family.
Right.
T-Bone wasn't there.
Right.
Long
trip.
Long
trip.
Yeah. So it was good. We got to see. Sonia was there. Mike and Debbie were there. Tiff was there with Bull, who's great, amazing people.
Yep.
I know Mindy was there. I'm not sure if you've had too much interaction with Mindy, but I got to really kind of sit and talk with her for the first time this year. We had Amy and Jamie.
And they brought the girls too, right?
They brought PJ the one.
Okay.
So yeah, Reba was there. The McMahons were there as always, and just great people.
Did Ford make it?
No, Ford did ill health.
Okay,
but and
which was still better than what I thought last week.
Yes, it was. And Grant, as always, I got to share the camper with Marshall and Grant, and thank you, Marshall, for not having your camera ready when whatever. Apparently, Grant had a bug or something on him while standing over top of me that was, I guess, video worthy according to Marshall. But yeah, it was just I'm probably forgetting. I got to meet Jonathan and Crystal. They actually picked me up from the airport. Lewis and Kelly were there.
Mm-hmm.
Just the group of people that we camped with.
Did Mason make it this year?
Sorry?
Did Mason make it this year and his wife?
No, actually, missing them as well too. I know that they wanted to be there, so it's just all that family of people that are just great, amazing people that we get to just share the weekend with, and they allow us to come into their stuff.
Best the last year I went. I'm gonna say I think was it. I want to say the last year, or maybe it was actually 2016 after I missed a year. Trent said it about. He's like, as much as it's going a race weekend, it's a family reunion.
Oh, it is.
And you know what? I didn't think about it, and I thought about it on a few levels because there's the family reunion of these people that served in the military together, fought together. And we always hear that they have a brotherhood. Veterans have a brotherhood with your unit that you can break. I get that. I can kind of relate to it, but I can't relate to it. We can only appreciate it. I guess we can appreciate it, but because once you make friends with this group, you're friends for life, unless
Yeah.
you do something very stupid.
Yeah.
You become family.
Which no.
And like I just think the first few years we'd go down. Before we might have gone over to the man cave, once over the course of the weekend or whatever. But like when we were going down for just the 600, but then that first time I'd see Mike and they're just setting up, and you just kind of look over at you and smirk, and and you might be 30 feet away still in your campsite setting up, but he just looks over like, I see you, made it,
Yeah. And with that, I've now kind of a couple of people that I cannot forget. Would be DA, BJ, and I know Logan. You may not remember some of this weekend because But anyway,
that's the best way to do it. That's why you take photos, so you're reminded later. The whole your trip back, you're like, oh, that happened. Well, I don't remember that. Oh, that happened. No, I don't remember that. So I get it.
Yeah, and I with Logan I kid, but it was fun. It was just a weekend. We got in trouble at the end. We had those Chinese lanterns that somebody that will remain nameless that's really good at logistics wanted to set off.
I'm not going to mention Amy's name.
You will get that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, so we got to set a bunch of those off before the fire department said, "Hey, you can't do that here." But
Amy does set a record, though. She is by far the most pregnant woman I've ever seen run the fastest.
I'm done with that. I have had it up to here with that story. I will tell you that's the other week that long.
I wasn't talking about the story. I'm just the mere fact that I saw a pregnant woman run faster than I can run.
I heard that story so much. So yeah, so that. I guess the other thing is, Cole Custer this year showed up to the campsite.
Yes, he did. Because you usually have somebody show up.
Yeah. Luckily, Kevin knew about it. Didn't forget about it like some other people forget about stuff.
I thought you didn't want to talk about that story.
Yeah.
Again, I'm more aware of this weekend's activities because I wasn't there.
Yes. So that's when Marcus almost took out Cole. We almost had a replacement driver after Marcus was done with Cole Custer. Almost took out, and it looked bad. I got the video.
Keith, I told the story on Fruitcake Tony's channel last weekend.
Yeah, I go back a few hundred shows of ours, almost like it's gone there. But where Marcus did the dizzy bat, then I did the dizzy bat with Cole Custer. I blew out a flip flop.
I saw that post.
It did like a 180 on my foot, and then trying to run on rocks with that was not cool. But hey, I got an autographed Dixie vodka hat out of it, and another hero card autograph. So and another cool story. He's just a short little guy, eh?
They all are.
Yeah.
They all can't be Kyle Petty's and Michael Waltrips.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. Most big guys, I don't even think would fit in the car anymore.
A musician and a dumb guy. Yeah. So that I can't. It's already.
Hey, really between we count all the rings on both hands and not use all our fingers.
Yes. Wish I could get down in October to see everyone again. Hopefully I'll get down there. I didn't mention Kathy, who's my supplier for the alcohol. And she took me to Cookout. Because I said, I've never been to Cookout, so I had to go to Cookout.
For incorruptible actions of earlier in the weekend.
Yeah.
I know, Keith. I know.
But yeah, so...
At least we have Tony Stewart back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In the booth.
So, right quickly, I don't know, do you have any news? I know you have some news.
I do. Breaking news.
Caused another illness. Tiffany, she is your mom.
Nice. Breaking news. This afternoon, it was announced James Busher, as a result of the rollover, has contracted COVID.
Time out.
What?
Not him.
Chris Busher.
That'd be it. Okay.
Whatever. Maybe he got it from James.
And go. Yep.
Maybe he got it from James.
Are they even related?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Are they? I didn't think they were related. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, sort of like Ryan Truex, there's the one brother you don't really talk about.
Continue.
So as a result of the rollover, Chris Busher.
We turned into
Really, both of them have had remarkable, memorable careers. Again, another guy runs for free. That's the only way I don't know how he's still in the series. I don't know. Like, I don't dislike him because he doesn't take anybody out, but he just doesn't do anything. He's a field filler. He's a placeholder. So yeah, he tested positive for COVID today. So he's out. And a guy that we've kept our eye on now for a few years, Zane Smith, is going to be taking over the ride at the newly revamped Gateway, which is interesting. Even their advertising, or newly revamped St. Louis. They're not even going with that 15-minute title.
Worldwide Technology
Raceway Park, something
or other.
Yeah. So Zane Smith will be driving the 17 in the Cup Series this weekend. Here's word of advice, Ford. You're going to pare down your support in NASCAR to the point where there's only a handful of teams outside a Cup that you even look at. When you have a driver go down, and because it has to be another Ford driver driving a Ford, you're kind of limited to your options of replacement drivers. And it's kind of interesting. I'm just going to throw it out there. There is a Cup level driver under contract with Ford, or a Ford team, I should say, but clearly not Ford. Ryan Preece could have driven the 17.
Yes.
Just saying.
And my news is, speaking of new teams, I think it was announced yesterday or today.
Sure.
One or two. July 2nd at Road America, Hendrick Motorsports will be putting in a car in the Xfinity Series. Not sure who will be putting down as the owner, since they already do own cars in the Xfinity Series. His name is on a couple of the cars as car owner.
Is he?
Just saying.
I thought it was just Dale and Kelly listed as all the owners of the cars.
I'm pretty sure Rick is down there for at least one of them. So July 2nd, Road America. Kyle Larson will be in the car. July 30th at Indianapolis on the road course. Alex Bowman will be in the car. And at Watkins Glen, William Byron will be in the car, showing that they just are really putting in those Xfinity drivers.
So it looks like, once again, if anything good at Hendrick Motorsports of Larson signing with them is now their drivers are allowed to compete outside a Cup.
Well, yeah. I'm wondering if, though, for an owner on the car, will they maybe put...
Well, probably a special day.
Maybe Chad Knaus' name will be down as the owner?
No, too much teardown likely. It'll be Jeffy.
I'm thinking Chad Knaus maybe
He's
with
co-CEO now of Hendrick.
But I'm thinking Chad Knaus maybe. Did you listen to me?
I'm listening.
Maybe Chad Knaus with a Lenovo sponsorship, Acer sponsorship. Put a little laptop on the car, maybe. Just saying.
Now, I noticed during the race, who was it? Went back to his hauler. I want to say it was Chase Elliott. Was that Ray Evernham that was talking to him outside the hauler? Did you see that? It was very dark, but it looked like Ray Evernham.
I can't see the haulers from where I was.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you saw it when checking out highlights or anything.
No, I didn't see it. No.
Yeah. I'm curious who that was.
Could have been
in Portland.
But I did see
Portland this weekend for the Xfinity guys.
Yes, Portland is this weekend. We're going to get that in a second here. I did get to see Rick Jr. was talking on the stage. He actually interviewed Kyle Larson as I was at Hendrick Motorsports. Rick Jr.
If the fleece sweater vest fits.
Another thing, Hendrick Motorsports does not sell merchandise at their shop anymore.
Oh, yeah? Want to know something else? Charlotte Motor Speedway merch doesn't ship to Canada.
Oh, no?
Just saying.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, on that note,
do you know who does ship to Canada?
Martin Truex. You know who else? Ken Schrader. Or at least he did. Speaking of which, Ken Schrader will be running SRX this year, right, Keith? I think it was Keith that broke that news to me, Doug, actually.
Yeah.
I think it was Keith that mentioned that.
Okay, so this weekend, Cup and Trucks are in
Gateway, we'll just call it fucking
That's
Gateway.
it. Xfinity up in Portland.
Shit show.
Interesting.
Yep.
AJ Allmendinger will be running both the Cup and the Xfinity Series this weekend.
Oh, really? We haven't seen something like that happen since the days of Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards trying to run the whole Xfinity Series.
Denny who?
Hamlin?
Hamlin? Okay.
Yes, Schrader did just have a birthday. I think his is about a week after mine. It's right around Junior's birthday. Junior's is on the 29th as well, I think.
Yep. Also, just got reminded.
Okay.
I gotta give a shout out here to Jason. Got the crew. I know I wasn't allowed to go. I had other stuff I had to do. I wanted to go. I could have went. The crew went to Hendrick Motorsports. Got all the backstage tour by one of the VPs at Hendrick.
Yeah, I noticed that. At first, I'd be like, me. I do not want to touch foot on that campus. But then when I noticed they got the same tour that we had at Gibbs, I went,
"Yep,
fella, I would have done that just so I could get up close to an X-Gen car, maybe, and I'd get the mirror on the thing, on the selfie stick, so I can be looking under the car, because that's why I took the photo during the race. Thankfully, there's a rollover, because I have not seen the bottom of one of those cars until now. Ben, why are you so excited to see the bottom of a race car? Because I want to get a good look at that rear diffuser from the bottom to see how it was shaped. Guess what the one mangled part on that car was? The freaking diffuser. I couldn't get a clear shot of it. It's all mangled. I'm like,
no, but they're pretty cool. It was a great thing because they do, because Hendrick makes a vehicle now for the military. That's a pretty cool looking vehicle. So I think it seats like 8 or 9 people.
Yeah.
But because I even got to go to the I will call it the secret shop. It's a unmarked shop on the Hendrick Motorsports campus that I believe they've so sure we don't like them, but I got to give them credit for this year because all the teams had to downsize. All of the GM teams, they kind of took all the people that got downsized, and they are doing R&D in this other GM building that's on the property.
I tried that, Keith. Problem was Busher got rear-ended before he got sent into the infield, so there was already some damage on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a prediction to win the Cup race?
Well, I got to see that apparently, shocker, Kyle Larson is the favorite to win.
Yeah, he was a favorite last weekend.
It's a favorite every freaking weekend.
I get it.
That worked out for you.
Yeah. I think he still finished ahead of your driver, didn't he? Or no, because he wrecked at the end. Yeah. I was thinking actually this weekend he may get the final win of his career, Kevin Harvick.
No, maybe. I'm going with because I say it every week. I'm going to go with the Truex or Bell. I'm going to give it 2 people, Truex or Bell. It's going to be a Toyota three-peat.
That Christopher Bell, he was on a bit of a streak, going into the 600, 3 top 10s in a row, which he didn't even realize, which shows, he's not really paying attention to the numbers too much, which is fine. But, the reporter's like, yeah, you got 3 top 10s going in the race. He's like, really? Just during the qualifying. He's like, oh, really?
But Truex, man, he showed signs of coming on. Right? He started the last restart. He was 6th in the restart there on the outside. But he was a consistent 12th. Like, he finished 12th. He started 12th.
Yeah, he was up there. Like,
all night.
I thought to myself, it's one of those races where if there is a bit of a shenanigans up front, we lose that 3 or 4 drivers, all of a sudden it's going to be, the next 3 or 4 that are still big names are going to be fighting for the win. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Harvick for some reason. I don't know.
Maybe this weekend's finish was good for him. Maybe that'll give him a little bit of a kick.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm curious on. Right. I'm looking forward to the race. I've always enjoyed that track. I'm curious to watch the Portland race because That's a narrow fucking track.
I'm surprised we have not seen Biffle. Oh, I almost lost the name there. Biffle's name not down on the entry list yet.
Yeah. Yeah, he's due for another start, isn't he? Like,
Well, he's from. Isn't he from up that area?
no, he's from the Northwest. Well, I see what you mean. I thought you meant the Cup race. He's running Cup. He's not running Xfinity. He's got the part-time Cup team.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, both he and Casey Kane came out of the Northwest.
Yeah.
Keith says Harvick will get a win this year. Trust me. Well, Keith, I've been predicting for a full year on this podcast that he'll never win another race, and he's yet to prove me wrong. I like Harvick. I just don't think he's going to win another race.
I don't know.
No, I think he's past his prime.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. But
yeah. Other than that, I think that's it.
I think so.
And we did go 10 minutes over. Dang it.
Yeah. I told you.
I got work to do.
You may have the button, but I got the control.
Okay.
Just saying.
On that note, we might as well end the way we opened. Let's use Marshall again.
Why not?
Why not? And, you need to send me those videos so I'll edit them together. Yeah, but not through Messenger because I can't download through Messenger. Send them text or email. So we have more openings for you. Excuse me, fine folks.
Yeah.
Until next time. Oh, wow. That's just all the acid just reflexing right up through there. Where's the Tums car?
It's a mess.
Yeah.
See you, Marcus.
All right, folks.
You gotta go.
Keep it high, wide, and handsome. All right, you can say it again.
Just hit it.
Hit it.
Yeah.
Take off! It's time for Doug and Ben's Great NASCAR Adventure!